What a joy it is to come and bring you the thought for the day this week as we reflect and ponder on what Alice spoke this past Sunday. If you missed it, don't worry, I'll summarise it for you. But you can all find it in the book of John, chapter 20. Now, Thomas was one of Jesus' disciples, but he wasn't in the room when Jesus first appeared to disciples alive after his death. Now, Thomas later voiced to the disciples his doubts. The disciples were desperately trying to convince him that they'd seen the risen Jesus. He was alive. But Thomas said in verse 24, "Unless I see in his hands the marks of the nails, and place my finger into the mark of the nails, and place my hand into his side, I will never believe." Now, I don't blame Thomas, do you? All the other disciples had seen Jesus face to face. They'd seen the marks and seen that he was alive. Now, I can't be sure what was going through Thomas's mind during this time, but in his grief, I am sure he was conflicted in his thoughts and in his emotions. He can't be dead. He was meant to be the saviour. But the other guys say they've seen him, but I just can't see how. It was a whole week later, again in a locked room, that Jesus met with disciples, miraculously walking through the walls, and this time with Thomas in the room. And Jesus went straight to Thomas and said, "Peace be with you." He then said exactly what Thomas needed to hear and repeated Thomas's words, alleviating his doubt and his unbelief. "Put your finger here and see my hands, and put out your hand and place it in my side. Do not disbelieve, but believe." Jesus knew exactly what Thomas needed to hear. Jesus knew exactly what Thomas needed to see. Jesus knew exactly what Thomas needed. And for so many of us, we have lots of questions like Thomas. But just like Thomas, the answer is found in the risen Jesus. Jesus knows exactly what you need to hear. Jesus knows exactly what you need to see. Jesus knows exactly what you need. So it may be that, like Thomas, you have doubts. Doubts around the risen Jesus. Doubts about his goodness. Doubts about his presence in this time. And it may be that you've even said your doubts out loud, like Thomas, or maybe you've kept them close to your heart. Either way, Jesus says to you, "Peace be with you." Jesus is not cross with you. He wants to give you peace. Jesus can take any question you may have. He can take any emotion you may have. Jesus can take your doubts, any doubts you may have, and he wants to give you peace. He wants to fill you with faith. So why not now, for a couple of minutes, share with Jesus some of the questions you may have at this time. Either speaking them out loud or writing them down, and ask Jesus to come and give you peace. Come and give me peace, Jesus. And then wait for a few moments and wait for him to show you what you need to see, what you need to hear, what you need. And may he give you peace right now as you do this.